Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Okay. So, now that we picked up some upgrades, and gotten a little more experience, gotten one more level, let's head back over to the world map. Rather, galaxy map. And now what I'd like to do is, like I said, I think we're just about ready to do a main quest mission, and last time we did one of those was Eden Prime, and, well, all the follow-up on the Citadel based around that. We have not really done any main quest missions since having become a Spectre, so there's a lot for us to do here. Big things would be either Noveria or Pharos. Let's just quickly read up on, I think the one I have in mind here, in particular, is Noveria. Council has received reports of Geth interest in the corporate research colony of Noveria. Council needs to know why. It's Noveria to investigate reports of Geth on the world. And just to be clear here, you can go with either Pharos or Noveria. There's no reason to go with one before the other than just mostly personal preference. There are some different things. Obviously, the missions are different. So there are, say, in some cases, some crew members that might tend to do a little bit better on one mission more so than the other. There are certain types of decisions and battles and situations you might find yourselves in one mission and not the other, so there's potentially some case to be made for taking one over the other, but for whatever reason, whenever I play Mass Effect 1, I tend to go with Noveria first, so we'll stick with that for this one. So, now, let's head over. And it's in the Horsehead Nebula. And I think we did go to the Strennis cluster previously, or Strennis system previously, for a side mission. I believe that was one with Gareth. Not Garrus, Gareth, the guy we saw in the Citadel Tower, who was telling us to investigate a place where I think his brother had gone missing. But anyways, over to the PAX system we go. Okay, so obviously there's Noveria here, but let's just get a lay of the land first. What other planets do we have here? So we have Svarog, which is very red. Svarog is a small but typical hydrogen and helium gas giant whose orbit lies quite close to the star. It is unusual for a star with such a close orbiting gas giant to have a habitable world. Svarog is Pax's only gas giant, but its temperature, powerful winds, and high orbital velocity make it a poor candidate for helium-3 mining. While Noveria enjoys plentiful deuterium, I actually don't know how you pronounce that word, for its fusion plants, it imports all of its helium-3 from out of system. So yeah, helium-3 oftentimes a resource of choice for fueling up spaceships and whatnot, so that's an important thing that we'll hear about a lot when we're checking out the hydrogen, helium, gas giants of various systems. So obviously, here's Noveria. Not going to go on it just yet, but just to see what we're going to be looking at soon, Noveria is a small, frozen terrestrial world, barely habitable by conventional definitions. It is privately chartered by the Noveria Development Corporation, who lease out labs to perform research too dangerous or controversial to be performed elsewhere. Given Noveria's unique situation, it is the source of many wild conspiracy theories. So it's sort of a remote place, not so hospitable, not so welcome to, well, general life. But for that reason, the people who do live there do some not so wholesome things, perhaps. So there is a colony there. It has a population of 361,400, so not a huge population, but, I mean, that's something. Certainly something. Capital Port Hanshan. And, saying not so hospitable, atmosphere is a little bit light, but it is cold, -1 degree Celsius, and gravity is somewhat Earth-like. So we will stop by there soon. But not just yet. Let's just see what else is in the system. Real quick, we have Marana. Marana is an icy planetoid smaller than Earth's moon. Many planetary geologists suspect it was once an Oort cloud ice dwarf, which migrated inwards after an encounter with some other body. While the crust is frozen water ice, deeper layers are mostly silicates, with pockets of magnesium and aluminum. Marana is tidally locked to Pax. The same side always faces the sun. So, it is minus 158 degrees Celsius, so quite cold. No atmosphere, or at least trace amounts, and, not really sure what the surface gravity is. Maybe it's 0.1 Gs? We don't really know. Actually, can we investigate anything here? Okay, no, just double checking. I felt like I might have missed it. Nothing at Morana either for that purpose. Then we just have Velis. And survey this. Velis has a thin atmosphere of xenon and krypton. Most other materials have frozen and fallen as snow. Its surface is composed of potassium with deposits of magnesium. While investigating the primitive anaerobic life on Velis... What? Anaerobic life? Okay, so it does harbor life. Binary Helix survey teams discovered a cunningly hidden anchorage of the ancient Krogan warlord Moro. Many records and artifacts of the Krogan rebellions were recovered and sold at auction. The empty base is now abandoned. So there was a time when, or there currently are, very simple life forms living there, and there once was a time when the Krogan were, or at least some Krogans, were hiding here. It is very cold, though. Minus 220 degrees Celsius. I mean, you had to find some way, some place where it was warmer, right? Okay, but let's survey it. And we get Matriarch's writings. Scans of the planet Velis revealed a small abandoned vessel. Your salvage team brought the ship on board and dismantled it, whereupon they discovered one of Matriarch Dalinaga's writings. Nice. Okay, so now let's take a look at Noveria. Well, we've already read it. This much is true. But let's actually land this time.
Approach control, this is the SSV Normandy, requesting a vector and a berth.
Normandy, your arrival was not scheduled. Our defense fleet is armed and tracking you. State your business.
Citadel business. We got a Council Spectre aboard.
Landing access granted, Normandy.
That was close.
Be advised, we will be confirming identification on arrival. If confirmation cannot be established, your vessel will be impounded.
Oh!
What a fun bunch. I think
Yeah,
I'll
they
take
seem
my next
welcoming.
leave here.
Alright, so, we are landed now on Noveria, and this is, of course, like I said, our first main quest that we've taken, at least outside the Citadel, after having become a Spectre. So that's big. And unlike other missions we've done recently on Uncharted Worlds, this is generally going to be a longer mission. So for that reason, when we're picking our team here, we want to be mindful of that, and, you know, not say pick people just because we do or don't like them, but actually pick people that we think go well with what we're trying to do here, complementing our skill set. Or, well, in this situation, there is one specific character that I think there is a very good reason to take on this mission. And that is specifically Liara. So we will definitely take her here. She is pure biotic, and since we are also bringing biotics and a little bit of tech, that means we've got a whole lot of biotics here, a little bit of tech, and no combat just yet. So we probably do want to make sure that our last person here has some combat abilities, and that would mean we're looking at either Rex, Garrus, or Ashley. And let me think here as to who might be most helpful. I think the other thing we're going to want is we probably want someone who is particularly tanky, and so Garrus, although he has a lot of firepower, we're maximizing damage on him. He's a little bit of a glass cannon, so for that reason I think that probably rules him out. So we're looking at either Rex or Ashley in the last spot here. Ashley, of course, being our pure combat person, Rex being our hybrid combat biotic person. Like I was saying, we do already have a lot of biotics here. However, Rex is also more so our close range specialist, being more of a shotguns type person, whereas Ashley we've spec'd more into things like sniper rifles, so more of a long range person in her case. I think for that reason, we probably do actually prefer having Rex here. So it is definitely a biotic-heavy team, but we have at least a little bit of balance between tech and combat strength to complement it. So we'll make it work. And one other thing to note here is, in many main quest missions, you are not able to switch over your team at any point in time once you begin the mission. This is one exception to that. So actually, the team that we're picking here doesn't necessarily need to be our team for this entire mission, so if we felt the need, we could actually go back later on and switch our team, so bear that in mind. Alright.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. XO Presley has the deck.
So, to Noveria we go. Looks like we've got just sort of our docking area here. And let's just take a look at our map first, and looks like it's been a while since we last had either Liara or Rex, so we might have some skill points to spend here. So yeah, this is the Port Hanshan docking bay. As you may remember when we were reading up on Noveria previously, Port Hanshan is in fact the capital of Noveria, so that makes sense. Then we are heading over to Customs, is the place we're supposed to go. Let's take a quick look at our squad here. Liara has 1 point, Rex also has 1 point. Okay, so we used them somewhat recently in that case, it would seem. So, in terms of what we would like for these two people here, I think the answer is, well, let me just say, not electronics. Because electronics give shields, and for reasons that will become apparent soon, shields, not so helpful here. Similarly, barrier also increases our shield capacity, right? It recharges our shields more quickly. And does not block attacks that bypass shields. For that reason, barrier also not so relevant here. Fortunately, in the case of Liara, we have not invested too much in electronics and very little in barrier. So that's fine. I don't think we want to change that at the moment. Instead, we're probably looking at just continuing to work on our crowd control abilities, lift, throw, and singularity, which I think will be quite handy here. In the case of Rex, we also have barrier, but again, I've not spent many points in that, and I think that's fine here. And fitness having immunity, reducing health damage by 90% is going to be extremely helpful, so that is definitely one of the reasons why I think taking Rex, or alternatively taking Ashley on this mission, very useful. Then, in your case, as for what we want on our next level, that's maybe a bit of a trickier question. We may have been, by the looks of things, starting to put a few more points into throw, maybe trying to get up to advanced throw, because, well, that's kind of where we left off on all of your melee-based, or combat-based abilities. Assault rifles, shotguns, and combat armor. So, well, I mean, we did throw in a bunch of points into shield boost here. For Rex, I mean, that was maybe in large part just to get to the heavy armor, so that part still useful here. Shield boost itself, not as much. So, yeah, I think we probably do focus on either throw or more of the combat abilities here, but let's go throw. I think crowd control will be helpful, or alternatively even just a little bit more health regeneration, also useful. Okay. Let's head in here. Are people come with us? Okay, good.
The sooner we're off this frozen world, the better.
We just got here. They are chill.
I hate the cold.
Sorry. Maybe we did take the wrong team after all. They do not seem terribly pleased. Let's save now that we're here as well. And we've got Meiko Matsuo over here. Hello.
That's far enough.
Oh, sorry, we'll cooperate?
We're not here to
I
cause
guess.
problems.
This is an unscheduled arrival. I need your credentials.
Like, who are you?
You first.
We're the law here. Show some respect.
Oh, we'll see, we're inspectors, like,
Captain
technically we
Maiko
don't
Matsuo.
actually need to
Atlantis Risk Control
abide by the law.
Services.
Atlantis Risk Control Services, you say? Well, you see, as a Spectre, we take orders from the Council and no one else.
I'm a Spectre. My name is Shepard.
Load of horse crap, man.
We will need to confirm that. Also, I must advise you that firearms are not permitted on Noveria.
She says that
Sergeant
she's
Sturm,
very
secure
clearly
their
holding a
weapons.
firearm. Oh.
Don't try it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Nice to meet you, too. How's it going? Did I mention I love your hair? You're looking great today. By the way, our weapons, yeah, we're keeping them. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, we would like to keep our gun, this is true, but we'll cooperate. Fine.
Stand down. Their house, their rules.
Don't come crying to me when they slice your gut open.
Captain Matsuo, stand down.
Oh?
We confirmed their identity. Spectres are authorized to carry weapons here, Captain.
You may proceed,
Take
Spectre.
that.
I hope
Ha.
the rest of your visit will be less confrontational.
Oh, really?
Parasini-san
No thanks
will
to
meet
you.
Upstairs.
Behave yourself.
You're telling me. Alright. There is... They say behave yourself, then we immediately pull out our weapon. There is this crate here, but I actually don't think there's anything we can do to loot it. So, we'll proceed to put this away and head on in. Just a random guard here, I think. Actually, can we chat with you again?
I'm sure Parasini-san will answer any questions you have.
Alright, cool. As for you?
Get out of here.
Okay. Also, love the part where you turn your head around 180 degrees like an owl. Has a nifty revolving door. This, not 100% sure, but this might usually give you a codex entry if you have not already found the thing that looks just like this in the Citadel that we were just examining recently. So, let's take another look at our map here. Oh, we're actually not technically in this building in full just yet. Let's see if there's anyone we can chat with. Or, what the heck is this? Vending machine? ATM? I don't know, man. Future's confusing. Alright, let's head through this totally not conspicuous looking, scanner? Question mark?
Weapon protectors, don't mind the alarms.
Okay, sure. What's up, Gianna?
I am Gianna Parasini, assistant to Administrator Ananias. We apologize for the incident in the docking bay.
Well, if you were the person who let us through, then thanks. That certainly did not look as though it was heading in a good direction there.
I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. You understand our security chief was only doing her job.
I suppose so.
One of my duties is orientation of new arrivals. Do you have any questions?
You do seem to have a lot of guards, and they do seem awfully keen on greeting any guests you may have.
Pretty heavy security for such a small port.
The executive board does everything in its power to protect the privacy of our client corporations.
Okay. Well, I hate to break it to you, but we are here on Spectre business, so we might need to get our hands a little bit dirty here.
I can't have my investigation hampered.
Tread lightly. The board can bury you in litigation. You'd need an Asari lawyer to see the case through.
But we're Spectre. We're above the law. What is this litigation stuff? That's beneath us. Well, let's see. Is this... I mean, we were more or less just asking this question, so I'm not sure if this is actually just going to repeat what we were just saying, or if this is actually new.
Pretty heavy security
Yeah,
for
it is.
such a small
It's
The
same.
executive board does everything in its power
Okay.
to protect the privacy of our client
So-
corporation.
I can't have my
Tread
Alright,
lightly.
we'll just skip through this
The
real
board
quick.
can bury you in
We
litigation.
see the real
You'd
reason
need
why
an
we're
Asari
here.
lawyer to see the case through.
The real reason why we're here is because we heard there may be a bit of a Geth presence.
Has anyone unusual passed through here recently?
Unusual? An Asari matriarch passed through a few days ago. Lady Benezia.
Oh!
Venezia. She is here?
So, you may understand now why I was saying you probably want to bring Liara. You know what, with her, being matriarch, Nezia's daughter and everything. Yeah, we need to talk to this person then.
Can I speak with her?
Benezia left for the Peak 15 research complex days ago. To the best of my knowledge, she's still there.
Okay, sounds like we're gonna need directions to get there then.
Could you tell me how to get there?
You'll need to ask Administrator Analeas for clearance to leave this port.
Okay, who is that person and where are they?
Where can I find the administrator?
His office is on the main level, left at the top of the elevator.
Alright. Sounds like we know who to talk to.
Understood. Can we go in now?
Of course. If you need any help, you can ask me at the Administrator's office.
Alright.
She is here. I can't believe it. I imagine you want to talk to me, Shepard. About my mother.
See... Can we trust you? Maybe we can't? What with the ties to your mother and your mother being, well, seemingly partnering with Saren? You did say previously that you haven't really known or haven't been in touch with your mother for a very long time and have not known what she's been up to. So I would say, don't worry about it.
No, I don't. I trust you, Liara. You may not be military, but you're part of my crew.
Thank you, Shepard. That means a great deal to me.
Alright, so, let's see, if we head on through here... Ooh, not sure just yet if we can, see new parts of our map. Is this new? No, it's not. Hold on. We need to just head on a little bit further before we can do that. Is that watering the plants? Or is that like a security weapon? No, that's definitely a security weapon. I was looking at this side, which is basically just like the hovery thing. But no, that side is definitely a gun. That side is definitely a gun. So, yeah, maybe don't mess with that. You see, they've got the nifty revolving doors on their elevator.
Welcome
It's
to
good
Port
stuff.
Hanshan, the galaxy's most respected site for independent scientific research and development. For your
Is it
own
though?
safety and to protect the privacy of others, you are required to obey any directions given by our security personnel. If you have questions or concerns, our friendly administrative staff is always available.
Ever so
Thank you,
friendly.
and enjoy your stay.
As we've already learned firsthand. Alright, so this is what I want to check here. So now we see that there is a large area for us to explore here. We have the administration office. I think it's where we'll find Administrator Analeas, not so surprisingly. We also have a shop here we might want to take a quick look at. And, well, just generally, some more places to look at, including an elevator to the hotel and to Synthetic Insights over here. We'll see if there's anything more for us to learn about that. But we have now learned a few more things. We discovered that Matriarch Benezia is on Noveria, but she's left the public port area. In order to proceed, we will need to get a pass into the garage. Administrator Analeas denied our request for one. There may be a way to persuade him or another source. That's jumping the gun a little bit here, I think, but, she said, or, who was it? Gianna said that we should speak to Administrator Analeas. And then the other thing is that, well, Matriarch Benezia, she's, the top advisor to Saren, it would seem, and she is here, and if we can capture her, then she may very well be able to give us some important information on what exactly Saren is trying to do. And she's at peak 15, is what we just learned. So we'll need to drive out to investigate that, and, well, that is, peak 15 is not here, is basically all we need to know at the moment.
The managers warned us about you.
Did they now? What did they say? They shot first. They pulled out their weapons first, is all I will say. Merchant Opal. Let's chat.
This one offers greetings. You are the Spectre that visits Port Hanshan.
Oh, you already heard it?
News travels fast here. Indeed, esteemed Spectre. Your arrival was not greeted with any joy by the companies here.
Oh.
This one has a burden that you could ease.
Oh?
If an arrangement could be made, it would compensate you.
Okay.
This one has procured a special item for a customer. The item is not permitted within the station, but you could bring it through customs.
Yeah, so in other words, you're talking about having us do some smuggling for you.
You want me to use my status to smuggle for you? That is not inaccurate.
Seeing what you did there. So... can we learn a little bit more here? What exactly are the contents that you're trying to get us to smuggle?
I won't carry anything if I don't know what it is. This one must be discreet. Rest assured, the contents pose no threat to anyone within this port.
It's not terribly specific. Not really helping your case all that much, but as for who the recipient of this package is?
I want to know where this package is going. This one's customer prefers to remain
so
anonymous.
Mysterious. But you see, the thing is, like, how are we ever going to be able to help you if you don't at least give us some information, some context here?
I'd be stupid to do this without knowing I'm not equipping my own enemies. Your words are not unreasonable. The customer is the Krogan called Inamorda.
Okay,
That
Inamorda.
one is a bounty hunter of some repute, and quick to anger.
Sounds like the kind of person that we, might not want to have getting mad at us.
That other grows restless from the delay.
Ah. Okay. So, I think, obviously, the whole smuggling business is, well, maybe not the most noble of tasks for a Spectre to be getting themselves up to, but we'll give it a shot here because it is another quest that we have the opportunity to do.
I have no problem with that.
I
This
wouldn't
one
go
humbly
quite
thanks
that
the
far.
Spectre. The package will be delivered to your vessel. All you need do is bring it to this one. Please do not mention this to Administrator Analaeus. That one would levy fees. Is there anything else this one might help you with?
Okay, so that's interesting how he brings up Administrator Analaeus, who is the person that we recently learned about, who's seemingly in charge of this place. And, so there are a few different directions we can go in with this quest. That's part of the reason why I definitely did want to at least make sure that we got a chance to start it. But, before we start looking into those things, let's see what you're selling
Can
here.
I buy something now? Is there anything in particular the Spectre is looking for?
Okay, so you do have an assortment of items here. Standard items, non-human armors, upgrades. I think, we do actually have a fair number of items on hand here, and there are, since this is a fairly long mission, there are definitely going to be moments in time where we're going to be picking up a lot of loot along the way, and if we're not careful here, we might find ourselves running out of inventory space, because I don't necessarily think we made a point of emptying out much of our inventory before we started this mission. So, more than anything, I think I'm potentially just looking to sell stuff. Let's look at what you have. And in particular, I'm interested in seeing if you have... Ooh, Rosenkopf Materials is, in fact, a very good manufacturer. This is one of the top-tier manufacturers, or at least one tier below the Spectre here, which is the best. But this is definitely something that we would like to pick up. So I think let's pick up that license now. Then you also have a grenade upgrade for 1 additional maximum grenade, and that is always something good to pick up as well. At low levels, it's not terribly expensive, and we are, after having bought a lot of things on the Citadel recently, not doing that well from a money standpoint, but this by itself is certainly affordable. Then Titan is really good armor. It is by Rosenkopf Materials, which is the license that we just purchased. Lightweight, comfortable armor, basic protection, or well, this is light armor, but if we look at instead, and we compare, you'll see this is light human armor compared to what we have right now, and it is almost 3 times the damage protection, a fair bit more shields, and a little bit more tech biotic resistance as well. So that's pretty sweet for us, and Liara is also, although she's an Asari, she also uses light human armor, so that's the type of thing that she would also find useful. Maybe a bit of a hand-beam-down situation where maybe we take this armor that we purchased and then give Liara the armor that we're currently using, or something along those lines. But, yeah, I think either way, if we can afford this, which, we can, in fact, we can definitely afford it, then I think that's definitely worth picking up. You can even see, let's see, buy... anything else of particular interest here? Comparatively speaking, Elkos Combine, much worse manufacturer, so not all that interested in getting any of their stuff. We do have a nice heavy human armor and a medium human armor. At the moment, that's not super relevant, because at least people that we currently have in our party can't wear that. Neither we nor Liara can. I don't think Liara can ever get to medium armor by upgrading any of her skills, nor can we. Medium armor is the tier or the category in which Ashley starts, and then after having gotten a few upgrades from her, she can start wearing heavy human armor, and I believe we have reached that point now. So in theory, this is useful armor for Ashley. So I think it doesn't have an immediate purpose, but like I said, it is very good armor. So although in time we might find higher level things, at least for now, I think maybe we do pick it up. But I was saying how we do have a lot of items here at the moment, or at least a decent amount of items. So, hold on, back to sell. I was thinking that we probably should sell some things here. So that way we aren't at risk of, say, having to metagel items, or omnigel, I should say, items that we pick up once we reach our threshold. Let's just go to the bottom and dump some of our bad stuff. So, like, we have some weak biotic amps and omni tools, and although these are very rare, or at least hard to get items, these are all the starting ones, and so not really going to ever want to switch back to these, I don't think. They're also worth next to nothing, so actually, those are probably items that are best to turn into Omnigel. Then, Toxic Seals for the Toxin Resistance is useful, as well as the First Aid Interface, although as we were seeing recently, the gear that we recently picked up is basically capable of doing that stuff, except both simultaneously and at higher values. So, again, those are probably things we can get rid of, but again, at level 1, probably things we'd rather Omnigel. Then, the question is really, at what threshold do we Omnigel, and at what threshold do we just sell things? And I think, certainly we can sell bad pistols. They're worth anything at all, but not really. Tell you what, let's Omnigel first. It seems like we have a ton of items here that we probably do want to do that with. So let's just, might have some really weak armor as well, but why don't we throw on the better armor that we just got for us. Then we'll go over to Liara, and we'll give her the armor that we just took off us. And it is technically a small damage protection downgrade. The shields are definitely better, although that's not so relevant in this case. The big thing is tech biotic protection, I think, is going to be pretty helpful here. I think that is definitely still an improvement there. And then let's just look at Rex, and I'm not sure we have much that's going to be better for him. This is not an upgrade, because it is tough to get Rogan armors. Yeah, this is just bad, comparatively. So let's maybe Omnigel this. Let's Omnigel... what were we saying? Got some low-level pistols. Let's dump the level 2s. Oh, I thought I meant to Omnigel all junk. There we go. Then, let's see, what else? The Omnitools, those are both bad. So let's get rid of those. I was a little bit concerned when it said removing all upgrades, equipped upgrades. That made me think that I might have accidentally gotten rid of something that I did not mean to get rid of. So that makes me a little concerned, because it did not seem to give us that prompt when we were Omnigeling anything else. So, yikes. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us at all. But I'm just going through here, and I'm basically getting rid of anything that's level 2 and level 3. Like, maybe even that might be fine. But at this stage, I mean, if we look at upgrades, maybe, we might find some things that we'd feel comfortable getting rid of. Although, remember that at a certain point, you will no longer be able to get things like chemical rounds or armor-piercing rounds, and we're actually close to that point now. So that means you want to be a little careful here and not accidentally rid yourself of the type of upgrade that you'd like to have in the future. So for that reason, we have a ton of cryo rounds. That could probably be something that we could sell. Not sure we're ever going to want this many of them. And it's level 4, so that's worth something. Tungsten rounds, though, is definitely something that is useful enough with 33% damage versus synthetics that we'd like to keep a fair number of those on hand. Yeah. So, well, let's look at the actual upgrades here. Not just ammos. Heatsink is our lowest level one. That's another one that can be useful on some occasions, even at lower levels. A lot of kinetic stabilizers, but that's a high enough level that we could probably sell some of those. We have a ton of kinetic stabilizers, yeah. Okay, I think we're ready to just sell now. Let's head back to you real quick.
Spectre. Have you brought the package?
Not
I'm
just
here to
yet.
shop. We can discuss this later. Of course. This one apologizes for inconveniencing you.
So yeah, doesn't really matter too much which items we're looking at here, although actually it might be interesting to see what other options we have in the other categories. But cryo rounds, we were saying we had a lot of. I think we have some level 5s, but we have a bunch of level 4s. That's probably something we're fine with selling. Tungsten rounds, I want to hold on to those. But, let's see. Any item that we just have a bunch of, we probably don't really need. Do we need multiple Edge 5 pistols? Probably not. Probably not, I would say. In fact, most of our level 5 pistols can probably go. We do have Ashley, or rather, Liara with us at the moment. And she is a pistol user as well, so I just want to make sure that we aren't necessarily selling something that we'd like to use for her. Remember, we only have one person who uses grenades, us, and we can only put one upgrade on those grenades. So having multiple incendiary explosives doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's dump one of those. Then cryo rounds here. I think we might be able to just sell all of these because we have some level 5 cryo rounds. They're just a better version, and probably not going to need too many of those. We have a ton of kinetic buffers. I do like this one. Little bit of shields. The accuracy, it's not so meaningful, but the cooldown reduction is quite useful for power-based characters like ourselves, like Ashley, Kaden, Tally, for example. So we don't need this many of them, so we'll definitely sell a few. Let's maybe hold on to 3 or so. And the stabilizers we had a bunch of as well. A whole bunch of these. Let's sell some of those too. And polonium rounds is what? Toxin damage. We had some lower level versions of that. We might be able to sell those. Better rounds, let's keep. Tungsten rounds, we do have a lot of higher level versions of them, I think. Again, that's one that you just can't have too many of them. So I'd kind of like to hold on to them. Once we start getting to level 4s, I think we're probably pretty safe selling those for most weapons. The armor's a little less so. I mean, medium human armor, I think, is probably pretty safe to sell because, like we were saying before, Ashley can, I believe, at this point, wear heavy, and so there's not much reason to ever use medium human. Hold on to medium Turian just in case, and I think we have already optimized Rex's armor, so we shouldn't need to have medium Turian at the moment either. One useful thing about this armor here, the medium human survivor 4, is that this is from Devlon, and this is the manufacturer that gives the armors that can give you the resistance to hazards. So if we do find ourselves on a mission with Ashley, and we want to have at least somebody who has a hazard-proof piece of armor, then this could be worth using in that situation. So let's hold on to that just in case. Then, same idea here. I mean, at one point in time, we did have Garrus wearing some hazard-proof armor. I don't know if he still does, or if this is that armor, in which case we probably want to keep it. So let's hold on to it just in case. And I thought we had some higher-level incendiary explosives, so let's dump this. And definitely sell our level 3 weapons. And, not a huge fan of motorized joints, so might just dump both of those, to be honest with you. Even if at this stage we probably can't get them back, but I'll live with that. And a duelist, I mean, it's not worth much if it's level 2, but I think at this point we've gotten an armor upgrade for Ashley, and it's not this, so we should be fine dumping that. And I think this is, after having switched over our armor for Liara, also something that we don't really need at this point. Damage protection. Don't know if we have a better version of that. We may not. Okay, motorized joints again. Not a huge fan of the smash damage. I think we do have better radioactive rounds, so let's sell those. Armor piercing, we definitely... I mean, we have all the tungsten rounds. Armor piercing 1, we should be fine getting rid of that. And then chemical rounds, I imagine we have better ones than this. First aid interface we have now, definitely outgrown. Basic rounds should be fine, and toxin resistance, I think we have... Let's hold on to this just in case. Just in case. So, that's a whole bunch of selling. We've made a lot of room in our inventory, and I think that'll be helpful as we are exploring the rest of Noveria. Take some of that pressure off of us. Don't need to be nearly as concerned, hopefully not concerned at all, about any of that stuff. But let's see here. So if we look at our map, we can head over in this direction to chat with Ananias. Alternatively, we can just walk around a little bit, chat a bit with some peoples. I think we may want to do, like, I believe this is where, yeah, he is. But before we do that, let's just get more of a lay of the land here and see if we can talk with anybody. Like, these are just random civilians without much to say to us. Came up from this direction, but I kind of just zoomed right past them all. That this businesswoman?
You're the Spectre, right? Management told us not to talk to you.
Oh, well, that's awkward. Because we are talking, aren't we?
The managers warned us about you, Spectre.
Alright, if you say so. That's Liara. What about this? Urks guard?
I'm on duty, Spectre. I shouldn't be talking to you.
Alright, if you say so. Everybody's so serious.